Jimmy Johnson earned win number 1 on the season in Martinsville, continuing the streak of new winners this season. Kevin Harvick and Gary Owen continued their top 10 streaks, and both drivers seem to be the strongest contenders early in the season, but both are without a win as the Cup Series heads into Texas.
Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we will be racing in Texas in the Xfinity Series with Hailie Deegan and myself in the Cup Series. There you see the playoff grid on the screen right now as we sit 8th on the playoff grid, 2nd in the regular season point standing. So we're doing pretty good on that side, and Hailie Deegan I think just sits just inside the playoffs right now as we come into Texas. She qualified in the 6th position, so a very solid qualifying effort from her as we went into turns 1 and 2, starting on that outside line, so she wouldn't be able to make any progress up early in this race. But as the race went on, she was able to work her way forwards as the race progressed towards the final couple of stages. Now as she got up to P4, battling on the inside of Elliott Sadler, taking P3 away from him. Now she got up behind the 7 of Justin Allgaier as they came across the line, so she was moving her way up, and she just continued to show a lot of speed in this race as she went into turns 1, trying to make a pass on Allgaier, but he kind of blocked her going into the entrance of the corner. And this time now, as we come to the final lap of this race, you see Cole Custer was now P2 as Hailie Deegan still sat in the 3rd position trying to pass him, as Spencer Gallagher somehow looking like he's going to pull up the victory as Hailie looked to the inside of the 00 going into turn 3, pushing a little wide. You see Ty Dillon blowing up in front, but it's not going to matter as Gallagher will win in Texas, but Hailie Deegan will get a career best finish of 2nd place in Texas. So a very solid effort from this team, showing some speed for sure, and it obviously boosts our confidence for these future races. Hopefully at these mile and a half we can continue to perform like we did here in Texas in this number 99 Xfinity Camaro. Now as we look at the money rolling in, we got quite a bit of money there. Gallagher, first win of the season, he won every stage, you get 7 playoff points, so good for him. Now as we shift our focus towards the Cup race, a track that in Texas we ran there twice last season, and we did pretty good. I think we had top 10s in both races, so we're looking to continue that here in the Cup race once again, as once again you see the points on the screen one more time. And Hailie Deegan now is the last car in the playoffs for the Xfinity Series, so that's good. At least we're sitting in the playoffs on points, so we certainly got some confidence now as we come to our qualifying efforts in the Cup weekend. We made it to the final session, sitting P2 at the moment. We set at 29.164, and I decided we're going to come through to complete a 2nd lap. Now as we come to the tri-oval to cross the line, we would go a little bit better at 29.133, and we will start Texas in the 10th starting position.
Hello, race fans. Today, the stars of the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series stampede into Texas for the running of the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 at Texas Motor Speedway. In 2017, this 1.5-mile D-shaped oval received a Texas-sized overhaul when a new layer of asphalt was added and banking was reduced in turns 1 and 2 by 4 degrees. Let's head trackside to see if these drivers have mastered this new configuration. Time to go racing on PRN.
All right, we are ready to get going and underway in Texas now as Kyle Busch on the pole to start this race from the front. Kurt Busch sent to the back after failing optical scanning station multiple times, and Chase Elliott had an engine change after qualifying, so he will also be starting in the back as we get ready to start behind the 78 and alongside the 14 of Clint Boyer as we get ready to go green. The green flag is out. We gain 2 positions from Kurt Busch and Elliott starting in the back, so we start P8 now as we cross the line to start lap 1 as Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick lead the way down into turns 1 and 2 for the first time in Texas, with Eric Almirola on my back bumper now as we come to the center of the corner. Obviously the outside line not getting a good start as Kyle Busch quickly clears the 4 of Harvick now as Keselowski goes alongside the 4 of Harvick down the back straightaway into turn 3 for the first time in this race, maintaining the 8th position early on as we come through turns 3 and 4. Kyle Busch looking to run away already now as we come through the tri-oval to to complete lap 1 of this race. No gain or loss for myself in positions now as we come through into turns 1. Truex and Boyer making a little bit of contact now as we look to the inside of the 78 through the center of the corner now as we exit turn 2 on the back bumper of the 14 of Clint Boyer now as the 78 battles side by side with Boyer. I look to make a 3 wide, but I touched the back of the 14 and could not get to his inside now as we come through turns 3 and 4. Boyer looking to the inside of the 11 now as I battle alongside the 78 of Truex as we come through to complete the second lap of this race as Kyle Busch continued to lead at this point. And by the end of lap 3, we worked our way up to P5, still behind the 14 of Boyer as we go into turns 1, getting into the back boom just a little bit, and that pushes me wide. Almirola's going to force a 3 wide with myself and Logano. He's going to hit me in the left side, and we're going to slide up the track and hang on to it. And that's not the first time that myself and Eric Almirola have gotten into each other. Now as we come into turn 3, dropping back to the 7th position behind the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. there last season in that 78 car. Now as Furniture Row will be shutting down as we go into the 2019 DLC. And by the time we hit lap 11, we worked our way back up. We got up to P3, passing Eric Almirola. Harvick passed Kyle Busch for the lead, and now Harvick's trying to run away with it as we battle alongside Almirola going into turn 3, looking to the inside of Kyle Busch to take away the second position. So early on, we're certainly showing that we have a pretty strong car in this race as we came across the line side by side with Kyle Busch with 9 laps to go in stage 1, barely banging doors now as we go into turns 1, clearing the 18 though through the center of the corner as we exit turn 2, now setting our sights on the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Myself and Harvick have been the top 2 cars early on in this season, and we're certainly showing that we're the top 2 cars right now as we actually tried changing the lineup, trying to see what I could do on that middle line, and you can see clearly it did not work. So I certainly learned for later in this race as we make contact with the 11, having to get out of the throttle going through the tri-oval so I could keep it out of the wall, and I would drop back to P4 from that little mistake from myself as we went in through turns 1 and 2, closing back up on the bumper of Truex and Hamlin now as we come out of turn 2, looking to get P3 as we did get P3, coming to 2 to go in the first stage. Hamlin and Harvick continue to be the top 2 cars, and at this point you see there's a bit of a gap between myself and Hamlin, and it's simply because the longer this run went, you can see now I'm starting to struggle turning the car as the tires, the more they wore, obviously, the harder it was to turn the car. So maybe later in this race, we're going to have to make an adjustment to loosen the car up, and that's what I'm thinking we would have to do as we come through turns 3 and 4. Almirola right on my back bumper as we come through the tri-oval to take the white flag. Harvick tries to hold off Denny Hamlin as we go into turns 1 and 2. I allow Almirola to get to my inside, which really I maybe should not have done. Now as we come through turns 1 and 2, Almirola easily going to power ahead of me, clear me as we come out of turn 2, down the back straightaway for the final time in stage 1. Now as we look into turn 3 with Truex in the 78 car behind me, a few car lengths behind, so we should be able to hold on to P4 as we come through turns 3 and 4 for the final time in the stage. Kevin Harvick is going to hold off Denny Hamlin to win stage 1, and we will come through to finish in the stage P4. So certainly a solid effort for myself, but you can see just how much I fell off once these tires started to wear, so we might need to definitely make an adjustment to this car, because certainly the last stage of this race it's going to be even worse on myself, and I decided to not make any adjustments on this pit stop because I wanted to run another stage just to make sure that it was going to happen again before I tried any adjustments. So now as we get ready to start the stage, green flag is back out. Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin lead the way on the front row. Now as we come across the line, it is a 19 lap stage 2 as we give Denny Hamlin just a little bit of a shove into turns 1. Obviously he won the Daytona 500 earlier in the season, locked into the playoffs already. Harvick without a win, myself without a win, Almirola looking for a win as well. Now as we come down the back straightaway, heading into turn 3 for the first time in stage 2 alongside the 14 of Clint Boyer, and obviously not a good restart for myself starting on the outside line, but we do clear the 14 of Boyer, and that allows me to drop back down to that inside line as Hamlin's drifting back very quickly as well as he restarted P2, now drops to P4 as we head into turns 1 and 2 as Harvick leads over his teammate of Eric Almirola. Now as we look to the inside of Hamlin, just about clear of him on the exit of turn 2, but I got a little bit loose there for a moment, and that allows Hamlin to battle back alongside me as we head into turn 3, trying to edge out the 11 now as we do finally clear Denny Hamlin to take away the 4th position as he drops back in line behind me in 5th. Now as Harvick is going to come through to lead the second lap over 2nd place and 3rd place of Almirola and Martin Truex Jr. as we head into turns 1 with 17 laps to go in stage 2. And we were certainly showing, as you can tell here, we have a lot of early to mid-run speed in this car, but the late run is just really off. So we are hoping maybe that I could get towards the front and maybe even take the lead and maybe run away before the car really started to fall off, so I could maybe hold on to a stage victory. But it was certainly looking like that was going to be tough to do, as these guys really are protective of the inside line. And by the time we come to the midway point in stage 2, I actually drop back a little bit now as we do start to close back in though on the 78 and the 10. You see we have a new leader, and it is Eric Almirola. As Kevin Harvick, he started to drift back now as he actually sits in the 5th position with 9 laps to go in the stage. And now I allow Denny Hamlin to get to my inside through turns 1 and 2. Now as we come to the center of the corner, Hamlin's going to come alongside, as once again the car was starting to fall off, but it was starting to seem to fall off earlier than it did in the first stage. Now as we come through turns 3, still battling alongside the 11 of Hamlin as we come through the center of the corner. On the exit of turn 4 though, he will clear me now as Kevin Harvick closes up on my back bumper as he lost the lead just a little while back. Now as we come to lap 17 of 19 in stage 2, Harvick, he got past me, and you see just how far ahead they got as they just drove away from me, as I just could not hang on to this car being so tight that I lost so much time. And at this point in the race, I was all by myself now as we approach the white flag this time by, as it looks like Eric Almirola is in position to get his first stage win of the season. You briefly saw it there, my right front tire was at 60%, and that was really the one that's really messing up my speed in this race now as we take the white flag in stage 2. No one even close to me from behind, and no one obviously close to me in the front, so we're basically just hanging on to a 5th position finish in stage 2, almost hitting the wall on the exit of turn 2. Now as we come down the back straightaway into turn 3 for the final time in this stage through the center of the corner. Now as we get ready to exit turn 4, Eric Almirola leads the way, and Eric Almirola looks like he will win stage 2, and we will finish one position worse than we did in stage 1 with a 5th place finish in the second stage. And there you see it, Almirola is the stage winner. In last place in the stage, or 10th place in the stage, the last point, Joey Logano in the 22 car. And we would come in and take 4 tires, 2 cans of fuel. You see the wedge is at 49% right now, and I would decide we're going to make an adjustment, a slim adjustment or a slight adjustment. We would put it down 48.5 to start this final stage and hope that it's going to be enough to get my car turning better. Now as we get ready to go green, Almirola and Truex will lead the way. The green flag is out. Stage 3, the final stage, is underway as Almirola looks like he wants to get a win to lock himself into the playoffs, as he made the playoffs last season barely over the 20 car of Eric Jones, as they both currently are in the playoffs very well on points for themselves. Now as we come through turns 1 and 2, losing ground through the center of the corner and on the exit of the corner as Almirola pulls away. Hamlin now battles alongside the 78 of Truex as we go into turn 3, as I myself battle with the 14 of Boyer, but we easily clear Boyer going into turn 3 on the back bumper now of Kevin Harvick as he looks to the inside of the 78 car as we exit turn 4 through the tri-oval now across the line. It is now 38 laps to go in this race as we look to the inside of Truex as we make a little bit of contact on his left rear as we go into turn 3, pushing out the track as I touch the apron as well, but we do edge out in front of the 78 down the back straightaways. He's going to fight back along my right hand side as we head into turns 3 now. Larson, my teammate on my back bumper, he hasn't really been up front very much in this race, but now he has worked his way into the top 5 as Almirola continues to lead over second place Denny Hamlin as we come across the line. As we head into turns 1, looking to the inside of the 4 of Harvick, now trying to take the 3rd position away from him. Now as we come through the exit of turn 2, side by side with Harvick, making a little bit of contact down the back straightaway now. Harvick trying to clear me as we go into turn 3, but he's unable to do so as we will clear him now through turns 3 and 4 as our teammate Larson will look to his inside as well as he tries to move up to the 4th position now in this race as Almirola and Hamlin continue to run 1-2. Hamlin's been in at top 3 for pretty much the last half of this race, so he's doing a very solid job right now as we come to the center of turns 1 and 2. We would end up actually getting second from Hamlin as he started to drift back now as we come across the line to start lap 65 with just 20 laps to go in this race as Hamlin, like I said, drifted back a few positions, and we will end up getting a caution now as Hamlin does sit P5 as we would get up obviously to P2. And you see here we're going to take 1 can of fuel, 4 tires, and actually I decided to take right side tires, and this will easily get us to the end of the stage, and I would actually quickly go back in to my adjustments and make a big wedge adjustment. We'd put it down to 47.5. Since this is only a 20 lap dash, or not even, maybe like a 17 or 18 lap dash, we need to put the wedges down even more to free this car up. Hopefully enough, we would lose 3 positions on pit road. Now as we get ready to go green, the green flag is back up. Hopefully these 3 positions are worth it in the long run. Now as we come across the line, it is 17 laps to go in Texas. On the inside of Denny Hamlin as we head into turns 1 and 2 as Almirola continues to lead. Now as we look to the inside of the Ford Harvick, Almirola looking for that first win since we started this career mode as we make contact with Denny Hamlin on the exit of turn 2, dropping me down the order now as Suarez comes along on my outside as we head into turn 3 behind 18 of Kyle Busch, now dropping to the 6th position. So not what I needed at all, but certainly at least maintaining a solid position now as we come across the line to start lap 69 with 16 laps to go in this race. Now as Almirola and Truex are the top 2 cars as we come through turns 1, getting into the back of Kyle Busch just a little bit now as he gets a little sideways as we exit turn 2, down the back straightaway though, trying to get back into the top 5 ahead of the 18. Now as we look to the inside, and he's going to leave it open, so obviously I take advantage of it now as we come through the center of turns 3 and 4 on the exit of 4. Kyle Busch looks to hang on my right rear as we come through the tri-oval to complete the lap now with 15 to go in this race. And into turns 1, we would clear the 18 of Kyle Busch. Now as we come through the center of the corner, the car actually getting a little bit loose through the center of the corner, and I was starting to get a little concerned when that happened. I was like, oh no, did we make the car just a little bit too loose? And by the time we came to lap 76 with 9 laps to go, we started to fall down the order. Now as you can see, the car's head drove away as I made contact with 18, getting a little sideways once again. And instead of the car getting tighter as we went on in the run, it started to get looser, and obviously you know how that's going to end up working out for myself. We would certainly have a tough time now as Larson, we tried to look to his inside, but I couldn't make it happen as he cleared me. Now as we continued to fall down the order, struggling with this car now over just ahead of 8th place of Chase Elliott. You see it through the center of the corner, just going for a big slide through the center of the corner now as Elliott closes right up on my back bumper, and I just was struggling so hard to hang on to the car, and obviously I knew that I screwed up making the pit adjustment that we did, and I would be shocked if we held on to a top 10 or even a top 15 as we get really loose again, almost hitting the wall now as we come out of turn 4, allowing the 9 and the 19 of Elliott and Suarez to go by as we drop down now to the 9th position as we go into turns 1, likely going to go for a slide again, and there it is, the back end starts to kick out now as we slide on the exit of the corner, losing the back end again now as we come out of turn 2. And now as we come to lap 78, losing the back end big time now as we hit the wall as we come out of turn 4. Now as Kurt Busch will go by on my inside as we fall outside the top 10. As I said, I just could not hang on to the car at this point as we come to lap 80, down the order even more as I hit the apron. This time we got hit from behind by Paul Menard, and we ended up getting shot down pit road. As I don't know if this would be a penalty, it probably would, but I go over 150 miles an hour down pit road as I was just really frustrated, and I just was so aggravated with myself after making that pit adjustment that we did. It was 100% my fault. Now as we come through with just a handful of laps to go, by the time we come to lap 82, I continued dropping down the order. As you can see just how sideways the car is. At this point, all I had to do was touch the throttle pretty much in the corner, even just turn the wheel left, and I was sliding. Now as we come to 2 laps to go, sitting in the 38th position, as you can see here just how loose the car is now as we get on the apron, continuing to slide through the corners now as we exit turn 2, down the back straightaway. The leaders are catching me quick. This might end up being my last lap if we can't hang on. Now as we come through turns 3 and 4, once again going for a big slide now as we come through the center of the corner now on the exit, and we're going to lose the back end now as we hit the wall on the exit of turn 4, and Kevin Harvick's going to come through the leader, and he will win in Texas and put me a lap down in the process. As we at least had a first in our career, we finished a lap down for the first time. I guess that's something to brag about, I guess. Unfortunately now, as we will finish 38th, and you're going to see that me getting lapped completely glitched the finishing order. So that certainly messed everything up now, as a bunch of guys that finished in the top 10 ended up finishing in the 30s. And unfortunately, like I said, I screwed up with the pit adjustment. And in the last 10 laps, our race just completely fell apart from myself, unfortunately. As you see there how loose the car was. I could not hang on to it, but I really could have just came to pit road and parked the car there, but I decided to keep fighting and trying to make something happen, and unfortunately I couldn't. Obviously I've got some drivers not very happy with myself, but I apologize to them all. I didn't want to get into them. Unfortunately, I couldn't hang on to the car multiple times at the end of that race, so it was really unfortunate. We had a great run going, and now we end up finishing just like 38th, so not good for myself. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. There you see the playoff standings. Harvick with his first win. He's locked in. And now I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. And I will see you guys in the next episode in Bristol for Hailie Deegan's recap of the Xfinity Series race and my Cup Series race. So thank you for watching, everyone, and have yourselves a great day.